Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another playthrough of Quest for Nita. I am the Heizmeister and... no, just kidding. No. As you probably guessed from the title, this is not a playthrough of Quest for Nita. Although you're seeing the starter fortress here. No. This time we are concerning ourselves with the construction of a starting fortress. I've prepared a few things for this in the background, and we'll go over what is important for the construction of a starter fortress, what the abilities of such a structure should be, and where does its usefulness end. Yeah. And when I say the priorities, I mean priorities in my opinion. Like what the most important tasks of such a starter fortress are. Okay then, let's get into it. Now then, let's take a look at what, in my opinion, are the most important things that a starter fortress should provide you with. I'll list the priorities in a descending order. So, for me, first and foremost, let's start with the obvious by using this starter fortress here that is provided to you by default as an example. Let's start with the construction capabilities. For me, a starter fortress should always have a decent construction capability, not the ability to construct a large cruiser in 1 second, mind you. This is a little bit exaggerated, but at least some construction capability, shown here by the repair units on the starter fortress. Then, next up, it should contain or be able to provide some resource harvesting capabilities. We have some resource gatherers here on this one. Not so much as to basically harvest a very, very rich resource, but resource zone, but some decent capabilities, I would say. We have to keep in mind that these resource miners need to be powered somehow. Right? Then, number 3 on this priority list would be some kind of material storage, since these resources do have to be put somewhere on this starter fortress here. This would be in this very room. This fortress provides storage for more than 100,000 materials, which is quite alright. Quite alright indeed. So, next up on the priority list is something that you might not expect from a starter fortress, to be honest. For me, this would be the ability to basically not consume that many resources, or better yet, not consume any resources at all during normal operation, which means just sitting there and harvesting resources. This is what I consider a normal operation for a starter fortress. And if this can be done without well, consuming any significant amount of resources, for example, if you are using a very efficient fuel engine, or better yet, RTGs, then yeah, this is pretty much, very much an advantage. So, last but certainly not least, what's most important for me in a starter fortress is that it can provide some means of basic defense that is capable of engaging a wide variety of targets. Please note here that I said wide variety. It doesn't mean that the weapons on this fortress have to be particularly effective or strong. This is, however, your starter fortress, which, if you are careful with it, should not come under attack at all, if you're doing it right. I mean, it can be attacked. You know, things tend to happen in a campaign that might not turn out in your favor, so the starter fortress should only be in a fight as your very, very last line of defense. Alright then, these are the priorities, which we have to keep in mind when constructing the new starting fortress. And yeah, I'll say let's get right to it. So, for this new starting fortress, we'll just start with a new vehicle, and this being a fortress, so we have to start with a fortress turbine. Those basically keep fortress type units together, keep them afloat, and prevent them from falling apart. So, next up, just place a few wood blocks here. And there we go. And now, since this fortress turbine is already consuming power to keep the fortress together and hold it afloat, we need to basically just put down a very basic fuel engine here. The EcoMax 100 is probably a solid choice for this. Where's the exhaust? There we go. The fortress is powered. And this is it. Now, while I'm building, I'll try to answer some questions that might have popped up until now, and even some other things. You might be asking yourself now, wait, why the hell would you concern yourself with constructing an entirely new starting fortress at all? I mean, a starting fortress is not just some building you get thrown at when you start at the campaign. You probably put it out of play and never bother with looking at it again. Or maybe even retrofit it into a harvester or something else. And for that question, I actually don't have an answer that is based on logic and reason. Yeah. It might be a little bit unsatisfying, but I'll just have to say I'll do it just for the fun of it. And because I'm going to need this starting fortress in the upcoming custom campaign. Speaking of which, it seems to take a little bit longer for this campaign to be finished. I'm doing my very best, but it seems my very best is not enough. And I'm a little waiting actually for an update to the planet designer as well. So, now while I'm building this fortress, let me tell you something about the goals I want to meet with this. I want it to be roughly the same cost as the default starter fortress you start with when you begin the quest for Nita. It would actually be very beneficial if I manage to make it even cheaper, even if it is just by a little bit. However, we shall see how this turns out. Okay then. Let me just... Yep, there we go. Nice. Yeah. So what I'm planning with this is that this starting fortress is going to have a kind of small dockyard and a platform from which to launch aircraft. Think of it as a small runway, though I will not just copy and paste the runway on there. No, it will be a little bit different than what you might expect. So, let's see. Yeah. Also, trying to keep the cost down a little bit. So, I'm not going to fill everything in here with stone. Just making sure that the outside, so the surfaces that you can see, are covered in stone. Yeah, I know, by the way. I know I could use decorations here. They would actually be pretty alright for this purpose, and I might consider doing that. Yeah, that would actually be way better than just yeah, placing walls upon walls of stone here. Yes, it would. So, while I'm finishing the rough shape of the core of this starter fortress, let me just talk about this custom campaign I'm building. Just a few tidbits I am willing to share right now. Yeah, this custom campaign will actually be played on this mysterious planet here, featuring a few factions from Nita, well, like the Onyx Watch, for example. I mean, I had to bring back some of the classics for a reason, after all. And there will be a certain rule set in place that will basically make this custom campaign play like an RTS. Yeah, kinda like this. At least that's what I have come up with for now. So yeah, I hope it will be quite successful. Although still waiting on this update to the designer. Well, yeah, I guess gotta be patient at this point. There is at least no need to rush, I suppose. So, now that the seller of this floating fortress has finished, and yes, I just realized the ridiculousness of my sentence there. Let's begin. So, this outrigger here is going to be connected to the, big air quotes, runway, where airplanes will be constructed from this fortress. What are we... How are we on materials? 2,700 for now. And we have run out of power. Yes, this little engine is not keeping up, actually. This is quite an interesting subject here, while we're on the talking about fortresses. As your fortress grows bigger, you have to provide it with either more engine power to keep it afloat, or you can simply place more fortress turbines to basically gain an efficiency multiplier for your power consumption. So, meaning a big fortress with lots of turbines consumes less power to keep it together than a big fortress with a low number of turbines. Also, it doesn't matter how you place these turbines. I mean, the orientation doesn't matter. You can place them upwards, like this, and yeah, you probably get the point. This fortress will always move with a speed of 3 meters per second in every direction. So, basic structure of the fortress has been finished. Let's place the dockyard. Well, I say dockyard, it's more like a pier, to be honest. Yep, that is indeed a ramp for aircraft to take off from here. Something you'd normally see on British or Russian aircraft carriers, for example. Yeah, I do realize that the wingspan of most planes is far greater than this rather small runway, if you even want to call it that, but come on, it's just stylized, not really intended for use. Okay? Good. Then let's make this a little bit higher and maybe construct something like this on top of here, and probably something like this. Yeah. Yeah. So, where was I? The custom campaign. I explained a bit about it. It will also be probably be important to mention that it's going to take a little bit longer, as I said, to finish this. So I'm thinking of doing a little small campaign to basically bridge the gap until this custom campaign is finished. Otherwise, I'd be doing build videos for probably just a month, and I assume you guys just want to see some fighting as well. I mean, we can't just all have construction videos. While a few of you think they might be interesting, I just think it's time to maybe do a little bit of campaign playthrough on the side. It doesn't have to be a quest for Nita, just something small like, for example, the Onyx Watch campaign. Though, if I'm going to do the Onyx Watch campaign, I'll probably modify Nita a little bit, or create a modified instance of Nita, where I'll be adding the Onyx Watch classics I refurbished to the actual campaign lineup. Something like this, maybe. And some more units. Okay. Looks acceptable for now. Yeah, it is going to be a little bit bigger than most starter fortresses. I have realized that. Well, still well within the resource constraints. Oh yeah, please let me know what you think about doing a little campaign on the side, at least until the custom campaign is finished. I'll probably have it finished really quickly once the update to the designer comes out. That just means I have to do some adjustments, and that would then be basically it. The custom campaign is indeed playable, though it needs to be... and yeah, some fine-tuning needs to be added here and there. Okay. Looks alright so far, so let's begin with the actual structure in the middle of the base. And this is how far I've gotten up until now. As you can see, the starter fortress is taking shape quite nicely. This is the material extraction area. I'll be doing some decorative stuff later. I've placed a few props here and there. And basically this is going to be a conveyor belt which transports coal all the way into the storage here. Yeah, this may not be the most practical layout, but this is what I'll be going with. I've also marked 2 positions where 2 gun turrets will be placed, just very simple gun turrets. Although this one here might have some problems firing at enemies that are maybe obscured by this ramp and runway here. Yeah, that's just something I have to deal with. Maybe I'll turn this into an anti-aircraft gun and this turret into a normal, well, anti-surface gun. We'll see. However, then it can probably not traverse over this building in the middle here. As I said, the starting fortress is going to be a little bit different, not very effective at fighting at all. Yeah. And here there shall be a missile battery. However, this will take some more time. Armaments will come way later. So, for now, I have... let me just get on here. As you can see, I have outfitted it with some batteries and RTGs. They are here, quite below, and also some resource storage in the form of coal piles. Okay, we do have 2 of the largest RTGs here. They add a lot to the cost of this fortress. 10,000 materials in total, in fact. Yeah, see here. And yeah, it's still far cheaper than the normal starter fortress you would be placed on in the Nita campaign. However, it's not finished just yet. I have to think a bit about the weapon placement, however. Yeah, I'll see what I can do with this. Even if a cannon cannot traverse to this side, this is just something I have to live with. This is not supposed to be a defensive structure, it's a starter fortress. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't make any effort to make this a little bit effective nonetheless. should it? I guess this is where we're gonna end it for the day. Yeah, so the basic stuff is all in place. These two mounts here will hold anti-aircraft guns. I've already placed a simple weapon here on the runway. As I said, this starting fortress will not be armed with anything significant. However, it should be able to engage all targets, so therefore I've placed a little chute here where torpedoes can be dropped into the water vertically. And here, this is where there's going to be a cram cannon, basically. Time fuse cram cannon. Yeah, nothing major. So yeah, this is the basic structure of this fortress now in place. In the next episode, we are going to construct the weapon systems for this one, add decoration and some more subsystems. Mostly then material storage, tinkering around with the engine, and yeah, applying the finishing touches. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little construction episode and the infos I gave you to the custom campaign, which will be coming up hopefully soon. I don't know why. But yeah, please let me know if you like to have a little campaign on the side, just to pass the time while we'll wait on the update that hopefully improves the planet designer and the diplomacy system. So then, I am the Heizmeister. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time on the azure seas of this currently very foggy, mysterious planet. Take care, and goodbye.